Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of The Chubby Gourmet. I am Richard, The Chubby Gourmet. And today we're going to do something very easy, very simple. It's a traditional side dish in Indian cuisine. Northern India, Southern India, doesn't matter. It's called Toor Dal. Dal is like lentil, and there's like hundreds of varieties of lentil beans in the world. Toor Dal we call here in the US pigeon peas, actually. So we're going to be using the pigeon peas to make a simple little soup, if you will. Any family in India that I've had dinner with, whatever state they were from, always has a side of Toor Dal. It's very tasty. It's actually a nice little meal all of itself. You make Toor Dal, served with a little rice maybe, and you kind of got a complete meal in and of itself. Purely vegetarian, but enough talking, let's go to it. And if you like what you see, please, it helps the channel a lot to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you get notified when we upload new cool videos. Now the first ingredient in our Toor Dal is, of course, Toor Dal. And what I've got here is about a cup of Toor Dal that I rinse. It's very, very important initially when you get your dal to rinse it several times. Rinse it thoroughly, pour out the water, rinse it again. After rinsing 3 or 4 times, let it soak for 30 minutes to an hour. And what that will do is you'll see that your toor, or your pigeon peas as we call them here in the States, will get a little plumper. They absorb the water. So that is the first thing that we did. I rinsed it several times. The water clarified quite a bit. And then I let it sit for over 30 minutes. And as you can see, the peas are plump to full size. What I'm going to do is drain the water. Again, it's been soaking for more than a half hour, almost an hour. I'm going to drain that water, add the Toor Dal to the pressure cooker, and then fill it with fresh water up until a little bit above the level that the peas are in the pressure cooker. And we're going to cook it on high for 10 to 12 minutes. So let me drain it first. Got our Toor Dal in there. I'm going to fill this with some fresh water now. Only up so that the level of the water is just above where the dal is. So I'm going to add about a half a teaspoon of turmeric to the pressure cooker mix before turning it on. Perfect. I'm going to set this guy to high pressure. We'll do 12 minutes and start. Now we wait for the pressure to come up, give it 12 minutes, and it'll beep at us nicely when it's done. See, it fell down? Now it's safe to open. You saw how much pressure is in there. You wouldn't want to try to open this without releasing the pressure first. That's why I was saying you wind up eating off the ceiling. And there is the dal. Well, our Toor Dal is all ready to go. Now we're just going to actually prepare it. Very simple. I'm going to bring some of the ingredients I need. Then we go to the stove. Wrong one. We're going to heat this baby up. We're going to add a little bit of grapeseed oil, and we're going to put about a tablespoon of ghee. So we're going to have the oil and butter mix. From that, the first thing we're going to do is saute about a teaspoon of cumin seeds. We're going to add to the cumin seeds some curry leaves, about 8 of them, and a couple of cloves of sliced garlic. That's step 1. Of course, we have to wait for the temperature to come up. We never add oil to a cold pan. We added our cumin, going to add our curry leaves and our garlic. I'm making a mess here today, but that's what I do. Lower the heat a bit. And we're just gonna saute this till the garlic slightly starts to turn. We don't wanna burn, we don't wanna caramelize anything. Smelling delicious already. The diced tomatoes. Gonna add a little bit more turmeric. And some green chilies. Now, I'm not gonna say how many you add, it's based on how much spice you want. Green chilies tend to be a little bit hot. And only about a half a teaspoon extra turmeric. Gonna stir that a bit. Now we're gonna add our dal that we just pressure cooked and add that to the mix. And we're gonna stir and cook this down. I need to add a little bit more water. If it gets too thick or too dry, simply add some more water. Starting to look presentable. A little more heat. I prefer mine a little more thick than thin. Again, it's simply preference. I'm going to season this with a little salt and pepper. About a teaspoon of salt. Make sure it's incorporated uniformly. And we'll just let it come to a simmer. I'm going to stir in some of the spinach and some fresh cilantro or coriander. Same thing. 2 words for the same thing. Going good. Gonna let that simmer for a couple of minutes. Then throw in some freshly chopped spinach. And we can see it's starting to simmer. Give that a couple of minutes. Again, you don't have to use spinach if you don't. I think Toor Dal is really good with spinach. It tends to lend itself. If it's too spinachy, you can use Swiss chard as well, which tastes a lot like spinach, a little less strong. I want those leaves to soften and wilt. And last but not least, again, according to taste, I love coriander. So I'm adding a liberal amount for this particular amount of food that I'm cooking. But fresh coriander leaves. I did give them a few slices, a few chops along the way. I didn't mince them too finely though. Take that heat down a little bit. We don't need that much anymore. And we are basically done. And there you have it. Toor Dal. We're gonna plate it now and see how it tastes. And here we go, still steaming hot. Give it a stir. Excellent, simple dish. The only thing I would say is I wish I added more of the hot green chilies because I like spicy food. But again, every family has their own version of Toor Dal. This is pretty rudimentary. I like spinach. You may want to remove some ingredients. You might want to add something else. I think the diced tomatoes and spinach and the coriander make for a great mixture with it. But that's pretty much, keep in mind the important points I told you about rinsing and washing the dal, letting it soak, and then pressure cooking it. And then it'll come out perfectly every time. And that's it for today's simple episode. I'd love to hear from everybody, especially my Indian viewers. Tell me what I did right, tell me what I did wrong. I want to hear everything. And again, if you like what you saw, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And until next time, hasta lasagna.